This is CityCast Seattle. I'm Jane C. Hu, and here's what Seattle's talking about. Today we're talking about what the Live Nation monopoly ruling means for Seattle, changes coming to Denny Way, and our weekend recommendations. Plus, in our members-only segment, we're getting into the best free and cheap stuff to do in the city. That's right, if you haven't heard yet, CityCast Seattle neighbors are getting a special bonus segment every Friday. As locals, we know that our city is super expensive, so we want to help our neighbors find the secret, affordable corners of our neighborhoods. We're supposed to wrap up this spring membership campaign today, but so far we're behind on our goal. And if we don't hit it, we'll be back here on Monday. But at least Jane's back next week. It'll be okay. But if you do want to help us reach that goal, why not pause the episode real quick, become a neighbor right now, and then you can actually listen to the bonus segment later, and you'll always get the full conversation on our Friday episodes. Just go to membership.citycast.fm/Seattle. Joining me today, we have contributing editor at The Urbanist and transportation advocate Ryan Packer. Welcome back.
So happy to be here.
We also have founder of Timber Music Festival and one of the DJs at KXP, Kevin Sir.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I'm Ashley Smith. I'm filling in for our host, Jane, this week. And you might remember that back in 1994, Pearl Jam refused to play Ticketmaster venues for a while and tried to fight their expensive ticket prices. The band, even a band that big, eventually had to back down because the company just owns way too many venues, and it made touring for them impossible if they were going to avoid those venues. It's been over 30 years since then, and we finally have some progress. A jury recently ruled that Live Nation and its subsidiary Ticketmaster maintained a harmful monopoly over major concert venues. The case, brought by dozens of states, including Washington, found that their anti-competitive behavior caused higher ticket prices, adding about $1.72 per ticket. I feel like that is not nearly enough considering all the fees and everything that goes into buying a ticket on Ticketmaster. State attorneys general say the ruling could eventually result in cheaper tickets for consumers. That won't happen immediately, of course, but it could lead to major financial penalties, potentially costing the company hundreds of millions of dollars. A judge may also require Live Nation to sell some venues. So, Kevin, I know you do a lot in the music world here in Seattle. Does this monopoly verdict change anything for you or anything else in the city?
For me, it just feels like I'm not yelling into a void about things like this. It's good for the music industry. It's good for artists. Ultimately, what is best for artists? And I think that, between Live Nation and AEG, Ticketmaster kind of being in the middle of all of this, there aren't many alternatives.
Yeah.
And for artists, it's interesting without going into too much detail. There's a certain point in which you grow. And if you want to exist at this certain point and beyond, you have to kind of deal with some pretty unethical organizations or corporations. Ticketmaster's second biggest shareholders is literally a weapons manufacturer. They can just do whatever they want because they control the entire marketplace, and that's a monopoly. And so it's good that there's options. I was one of those ticket buyers for Pearl Jam. I remember going to some company I never heard before, trying to get my tickets in the mail, and it was a bit of a mess. But I remember being really proud that they were doing that. But at the time, there just weren't any alternatives that had the technology developed to meet their demands. Now there are. There's a lot of options. Human ticks, which is kind of a new thing I've learned about, which is 100% of they're a nonprofit, so the ticketing fees that they collect actually all go to charity.
Oh, that's awesome.
We currently use Eventbrite. But there are a lot of alternatives to these systems that have come about and are perfectly usable for the largest events.
Why do you think so many venues use Ticketmaster? I guess maybe this is a silly question from someone who maybe isn't familiar with the industry, but it seems like everybody hates Ticketmaster and yet everybody has to use Ticketmaster.
For the most part, it's because they own the venues. And so it's they own every step of the equation, and they kind of own agreements on the venues. They get the venues, they get the tickets, and they get the talent. And so they're the only person in the equation, really.
I mean, some bands have to play certain rooms because there's only so many venues that can hold so many people. But if that venue is owned by Ticketmaster, then I assume if that's where they book to play, they then have to use Ticketmaster to sell the tickets for that show.
Yeah. And I think like the bummer thing is that there's so much fewer options for bands these days, like the industry in terms of like, streaming affects this, everything affects this, where like now it's like the live music revenues where like the bulk of where people make their money. And so they just take it on the chin because they just don't have an alternative. The second you get above 500 people, you're in that world.
Mm-hmm.
And the artists are more desperate to make revenue from fewer places. And so they're less able to just rebel and say, we don't want to do this.
Ticketmaster has dynamic pricing that can be turned on, which means that like if there's more demand, the prices go up during the pre-sale or the on-sale. And that just seems incredibly predatory. And I guess if you are a big enough artist, you can turn that off. You don't have to do that, but I very rarely see artists opt out.
You have to be a pretty big artist, probably, I would assume. I think The Cure took a stand on that, but it is hard. Like you do need artists to sacrifice and commit to making change in order for this to really speed up and to happen. And there are just too few voices out there that are willing to do so. If these bands could somehow be unified and speak up, yeah, they would make a little less money. They would probably sacrifice a portion of what they're capable of doing, but it would be for the betterment of all the artists and musicians in the future. And it's just kind of been, I think that's a part that's been lacking. I mean, people really been speaking up about Spotify, and that's been really awesome to see people looking for alternatives. And I'm finding a lot of artists are not even releasing their music on streaming, and they're doing pretty well. Less listeners, but more income. So there you go.
Interesting. Okay. Do you guys want to guess how much the average ticket price is for, I guess, concert tickets?
I wouldn't know.
I'm going to say...
Which is weird, but...
$78.
78. Okay. It's actually around like $130, which if you're buying during the general sale, that's how much it probably is, but around $300 if you're buying a resale ticket, because those are always marked up by someone else. I am a Swiftie, a Taylor Swift fan, so anything less than $500 sounds amazing to me, but I think I'm just traumatized from all the Ticketmaster wars I've been in to get tickets to see her.
Yeah, I will say this for like consumers and people that are spending that kind of money on tickets. Like if you think this is wrong, like my whole career here has been built on the belief and knowing that like there are artists that are playing for $15 that are every bit as talented and amazing as the artists that you would pay $300 to go see. And our music venues do incredible work and they need support, especially in the summer. And I guarantee you, if you look through and click through calendars and listen to music, you're going to find some incredible experiences and you're going to be right in front of it. And that's the cool thing about small venues and independent venues is that the quality's there, just a mass of people haven't found it yet.
How is the local music industry doing these days, whether it's bands, venues, organizers? Everything feels a little bleak, but I'm hoping for some I don't know, ray of sunshine in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's my company and Timber Music Fest. Like we've invested long-term in experience and intentions and truly taking care of people and truly being about music discovery, the things that we really wear on our sleeve. So I could say that we're sustaining pretty well. The biggest things that are happening in the industry, production costs have really skyrocketed since coming out of the pandemic. The cost of doing business has just gone up. Cost of living here in Seattle, it's based on a tech industry and not the creative industry. It's made a lot of artists have to leave. It's made it really harder for musicians. Like Seattle really likes to wave a flag and put Nirvana on their sleeve when they say, look out, we're this music city. But when it comes to actually addressing the issues that are keeping the next Nirvanas from being able to exist here, it's kind of been very tone deaf and not wanting to like confront it. So yeah, things are more difficult for musicians. Costs are much higher. Independent venues really struggle. The pandemic sobered a lot of people up and venues had evolved to only make their money on the bar. And so venues are trying to figure that out. And it's more reason why like we need to support our independent venues because our music economy and our music ecosystem, it's about bands having a ladder to climb, and you can't play the Sunset unless you played Connor Byrne. You can't play the Tractor unless you played the Sunset. It's all about that ladder and protecting that ecosystem or else artists are going to have more reasons than just like not being able to afford it to live here.
You alluded to this a little bit, but what makes Timber, the festival that you put on, special or different? Like, why do you think that you're able to sustain so well while others are struggling?
One, we're a small company, and I'm a former touring musician. We're run by like a group of people that all understand what it's like to tour and play festivals from the musician standpoint. And that's where things really started for us. We also are driven by our values. I empower my staff to say yes and to make people's day and to really take care and cherish, like, one, the money they're paying to come, and let alone the fact that they're taking a weekend out of a very short summer to spend it with us. And I think that intentionality really comes across. People feel safe, they feel cared for, and it's a very safe space. People usually leave the festival feeling like more energized at the end of a 3-day festival, where usually they feel pretty exhausted by it. Because you could leave the stimulus, you could go sit by a river or on a trail. You can stargaze with astrophysicists at night. You could climb trees with an arborist. You can do all sorts. Cool. It's just this choose your own adventure and take it at your own speed. We tend to have created a community that really cares for the festival and cares for each other. And it's a very safe place, but just kind of a reminder of what humanity looks like in person when you go. And I think that's why people keep coming back.
You sold me.
Come on out.
Yeah, when is it, Kevin?
It's July 23rd through the 25th.
Awesome.
At McDonald Park in Carnation. So just like 40 minutes from Seattle.
Well, if anyone wants to find out more, you can go to timbermusicfest.com. We'll also put a link in our show notes. Let's take a break. But when we come back, we'll talk about changes that are coming to Denny Way.
Join me in a quick daydream. Close your eyes and imagine rolling hills and vineyards, a glass in your hand, and nowhere that you need to be. Take a deep breath, let it out. Ah. If you want to make that dream a reality, head to Dundee. It's in the heart of Oregon's Willamette Valley, home of great wine and laid-back vibes. It's a place where you can make friends with the winemakers, take the windy back roads, and linger a little longer than you planned. It's just 30 miles outside Portland, and they've got all sorts of cute events. Like every third Thursday, they've got art on display with live music, food trucks, and wine tasting specials. Right now, Travel Dundee is offering a spring discount for CityCast listeners. You can visit traveldundee.com/CityCast to unlock exclusive lodging promo codes for your next stay this spring. That's Travel Dundee, DUNDEE.com/CityCast. Seattle's tastiest tradition is back. Seattle Restaurant Week is happening April 19th to May 2nd, and for 2 weeks, diners are invited to explore our diverse and innovative local food scene. This year, there are over 260 restaurants participating, and they're offering special curated menus highlighting their signature dishes and chef's picks. These menus are priced at $20, $35, $50, and $65, so you can find a restaurant, bar, cafe, food truck, or pop-up across the greater Seattle area that fits your budget, or maybe it just gives you an excuse to splurge a little bit. Personally, I love having a reason to explore new spots, and eating out during Restaurant Week supports our entire local food economy, in addition to the restaurants themselves, the producers, and food purveyors that they source from. Participating locations are also donating portions of their proceeds towards free community meals. Head to srweek.org to see an up-to-date listing of all participating restaurants and, most importantly, their menus.
So the Route 8, or the Late, as it's been called, has been unreliable for a really long time, often getting trapped in those long lines of cars, trying to get onto I-5 from Denny. Ryan mentioned this in their article, and I had totally forgotten about it. Kevin, you might remember this, but the band Taco Cat released a song called FU Number 8 back in 2014. But on Wednesday, Mayor Wilson made an announcement related to the Denny bus plan, and some big changes are coming. Ryan, you were there. What's happening?
That's pretty big news for Route 8 riders. So in August, the Seattle Department of Transportation is going to install a curbside bus lane all the way from 5th Avenue to I-5 eastbound. Drivers will be able to use that lane to turn right, but we'll have to be staying out of it. Otherwise, giving the Route 8 its own priority. On top of that, some other big changes for I-5 bound drivers. Those queues on Denny Way are trying to get to the ramp at Yale Avenue, right at I-5. Those drivers are no longer going to be able to turn right from Denny onto Yale immediately. There's a slip lane they're going to permanently close. You'll have to take a turn at Bourne Avenue and then take a left at Howell. And so the hope there is that queuing cars for I-5 will be able to get off anyway. There's plenty of space on Bourne Avenue, and make way for the Route 8 for local traffic to get to Capitol Hill and beyond.
This is one of Mayor Wilson's campaign promises, right? Like expanding bus services and making these kinds of changes.
So she definitely campaigned on expanding transit and particularly transit priority, which makes our transit dollars go further. She's been an advocate on this for a very long time. In 2018, she was one of the main people who founded a coalition to push the city to do more of these things. It was called the Move All Seattle Sustainably Coalition, or MASS. And now she's in the mayor's office. But last year, this issue got put front and center by a group called Fix the Late, which has been doing a lot of grassroots advocacy, got a lot of attention for holding a race against the 8 last summer that brought out hundreds of people. I was blown away by the number of people who came out to race the 8 on foot. The fact that they won is even more incredible.
That's hilarious.
People were leapfrogging up the hill. They were riding tiny little car. They were balancing a LaCroix on their head. It was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen in the city. And it really put the issue front and center. And Katie Wilson grabbed that and was just like, we're going to put down the red paint.
Katie Wilson was on the morning show on KEXP, and that was the Taco Cat song was one of the songs she chose
Oh,
to
nice.
play. Just standing on it, just being like, yep, I'm going to play this song. And it was pretty cute choice.
So why is this such a big deal, Ryan, other than, I mean, it's what people that ride the 8 have been wanting for a long time, but it's good for people that drive cars over there too, right?
Ultimately, this is about making one of the most popular bus routes. This is in the top 10 of Metro's routes for ridership, even though it's infamously late and a lot of people avoid it. So imagine how many people would want to use this bus if it's fast and frequent. Mm-hmm. In addition to the red paint going in August, Metro is also going to boost the frequency on the 8 from every 15 minutes to every 12. And so this will be a great opportunity for people who maybe are even sitting in traffic on Denny to actually think about using that bus lane.
Yeah. As you said, August is when that'll probably be going in.
Got to wait for the FIFA World Cup construction moratorium to be wrapping up.
Right, of course. So we also got some transit-related questions from listeners that I wanted to pose to you, Ryan. This one's also bus-related. It comes from Hannah S., who says, I live in Fremont, and they've been doing a bunch of work on the roads around bus stops. It feels like every month or so, they have been closing stops and moving them to temporary places. I found it really challenging to figure out where they're moved when I get to the stops, and it's hard to find information online. Do you have any tips for this?
Yeah, it's really tricky, especially when you have the city of Seattle coordinating with Metro. Right now, SDOT is upgrading the stops for the Route 40, which is going to hopefully make that bus faster and more reliable. But construction impacts have been real and pretty gnarly. Obviously, the number one thing you can do is just to sign up for the Metro alerts, getting alerts on your phone regarding your particular route. But if you know about construction projects that are happening in your area, like that Route 40 project that I mentioned, I would highly recommend also regularly checking the project page, just in case there's some gap in communication between the city and Metro, just to be able to be kind of aware of where the work zones are happening. Usually those projects have weekly updates you can sign up for in your email.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. That Fremont section has been rough for a while. But it's nice to know there's some options to make that a little easier to navigate. Ryan, is there anything we missed regarding the 8 updates?
Well, I mean, if you're wondering, you don't use the 8, you use a different route. If there are improvements coming to your bus route, the answer is potentially yes. There's a long list of other routes that they're considering for potential bus-only lanes to get your bus moving faster and more reliably. And so we're going to be reporting on those as they kind of get rolled out. We did include the chart that was circulated from the SDOT director to the mayor last week in our story at the Urbanist, so you can check out the list there.
Sweet. Well, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll share our weekend recommendations.
If you're in Washington and you haven't tried King Harvest hummus yet, you're missing out on a locally made favorite. Since 1977, King Harvest Hummus has been making their small batch, fresh hummus in Portland, Oregon. It's not like an average hummus. It's a thicker texture combined with bold flavors, and it creates raving fans after tasting it. Not surprising, since it's made local and fresh on the shelf. Some of our favorite flavors are roasted red pepper, jalapeno, sun-dried tomato, and of course, the classic. You can eat this healthy dip with chips, veggies, or add it to a sandwich or wrap. Or maybe you just want to eat it with a spoon. Most people buy more than one because once it's open, this healthy dip disappears fast. You've got to try it to love it. Don't miss out on expanding your snack experience with this locally made fresh dip. King Harvest Hummus. Simple, better, one dip at a time. You can find King Harvest in the refrigerated section at your local grocery store.
Hey y'all, it's Ashley, the executive producer here at CityCast Seattle. We're in our spring membership campaign, and we have something really special for new neighbors who join over the next 2 weeks. You've probably seen Oxford pennants around town, or maybe on Instagram. They are beautiful. They're American made and just the coolest thing. They're from this company called Oxford Pennant, and this spring they made one just for us, just for Seattle, as a celebration of everything we love about our city. It's this really beautiful bluish green color. It's teal-ish, very close to our CityCast Seattle teal. And it has Seattle on it, of course, front and center, plus a little Mount Rainier icon. And it says, "I live here on purpose." Because we do. These pennants are handcrafted and designed specifically for CityCast Seattle, so you're not going to find these anywhere else. You can hang it at home or at your office, basically wherever you want to remind yourself and everyone around you that you love this city with all its quirks and delights, and you want to be part of making it better. And when you become a CityCast Seattle neighbor, you're also getting ad-free listening, invitations to members-only events, and so much more. It's $10 a month or $100 a year, and it goes directly to supporting this show and the team of locals who make it. Some of my favorite people in all of Seattle, but I'm a bit biased. Join before April 24th to get the pennant at membership.citycast.fm/Seattle. That's membership.citycast.fm/Seattle. And we'll see you around the neighborhood. So every Friday, we like to share a couple of things, what we're doing this weekend, weekend recs for everyone, but also what brought us joy this week. So Kevin, it's your first time being on the show. What brought you joy this week?
Gardening.
Nice.
It's the one time of year where all Puget Sound people just have faith that they're going to actually do a good job at gardening this year. And maybe 20% of it, us make it through. But yeah, I think we are a gardening place. We love our Cisco and our different nurseries and things, but we had our first real run of good weather. And so it brought me to the nursery, got me out to plant seeds and get things moving. And even at KXP, we started a gardening Slack channel, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, let's do this." And so I just love how Seattle comes to life with its greenery, and people love growing things. We're a city of hobbits. So that brought me a lot of joy this week. And this weekend is going to be, knock on wood again, but the forecast looks pretty stellar to be out in the garden, looking at trees, making things grow. So that's what it's one of the many things I'm looking forward to this weekend.
Nice. What about you, Ryan?
I'd say the thing that made me smile this week was downtown. I got to take a tour of the new bike trail along the waterfront between Myrtle Edwards Park and downtown. And I'm going to admit I'm deeply uncomfortable with billionaires buying things for the city that they think that we need. I like my publicly goods publicly funded. But overall, the state of downtown is kind of what actually made me smile, getting out there to check on that trail this past weekend. The weather was also amazing. Pike Place was, I can't remember seeing it so teeming with people. The waterfront, the Overlook Walk, the new Boon Coffee down there. It was all coming together, and it just feels like this summer is going to be really special.
Yeah, I know we always look forward to Seattle summer, all of us locals, but yeah, it does feel like this one's going to be here early and like extra bright, extra warm, which is both exciting and scary, but yeah, looking forward to it. We usually have Marcus Harrison Green on for Friday episodes, and he couldn't join us today, but I wanted to make sure that I gave a shout out to his stepson who's turning 14 years old today. So happy birthday, Nathan. And then, yeah, what are you guys doing this weekend?
Well, it's Indie Bookstore Day, so I'm really excited for Independent Bookstore Day. I used to try and go to all the stores. I kind of don't do that anymore. I really kind of just try and dote on one or two of my favorites. Shout out to Open Books and Arundel and Charlie's Queer Bookstore in Fremont.
Sweet. Yeah, that's Saturday. We're also looking forward to that as a team. We're big readers. We're going to put together an Instagram carousel at CityCast Seattle if anyone wants to see what our favorite independent bookstores are. What about you, Kevin? What are you doing this weekend?
This weekend, one of the amazing shows, Saturday Shabazz Palaces with Stas the Boss, is going to be happening at Nectar, which is an outrageous show. Haven't seen Shabazz in a while. But I was also thinking of things I'd recommend, and it's like, but it's sunny, and I know we talked about like free and or cheap things to do. I love going to the tea gardens in the Arboretum. And one of like the cheap add-ons, the options you can do, I think it's just like $3 to buy little bags of koi food. And one of my go-tos, like I have to do a couple times a year, is just sit in that park, and the cherry blossoms are still out, and feed the fish and just hang out with a bunch of koi fish and feed them. So if you're looking for something random I don't think it's too expensive, just get that extra koi food and hang out with some fish.
I love that. Yes. What else is happening this weekend? We've got the final Torrent game for the season on Saturday. There's Dino Fest happening at the Burke Museum on Sunday. If you want to see a full list of everything happening this weekend, head over to our website, seattle.citycast.fm. That's all for today here at CityCast Seattle. I'm your fill-in host, Ashley Smith. Ryan, Kevin, thank you both so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me. Have a good weekend.
So we've come to the end of our episode for most of you, but we still have a thing or two that we'd like to say. That's why we're staying on to record a bonus segment just for our CityCast Seattle neighbors. If you aren't a neighbor, well, why not? Pause the episode, go join right now, and then come back to tune in for the rest of the conversation in a special ad-free feed. You can just go to membership.citycast.fm/Seattle. Make sure you get all of our full Friday episodes from now on. Again, that's membership.citycast.fm/Seattle. Our executive producer is me, Ashley Smith. Our usual host is Jane C. Hu. Our creative producers are Sam J. Leeds and Liam Billingham. Post-production this week was done by PJ Shahamat. Our audience development manager is Ben Keenan. Music is by Aaron Taylor Waldman, All the Kimonos, and Los Mocachetes, with additional mixing by Tyler Lindgren. Our ad music is by Sven Lindvall and Sarah, the instrumentalist from Epidemic Sounds, via Getty Images. Listeners, we want to hear from you. Send us your news tips, your questions, your hot goss, or your thoughts about anything we talked about in today's episode by sending an email to seattle@citycast.fm. You can also text us or leave us a voicemail on the CityCast hotline at 206-880-3931. Until next week, see you, Seattle.
If you're enjoying the podcast, be sure to follow us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen so you never miss an episode. Also, leave us a little review. It's really helpful. And tell your friends about us. You can also get more local news and events delivered right to your inbox by subscribing to our newsletter. Just go to seattle.citycast.fm. And you can find us on Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok at CityCast Seattle. And you can watch full episodes of this show on YouTube.